Commander Jake Morrison stood at the center of the bridge, hands resting lightly on the railing as the stars slipped past in endless silence. The Earth's Pride, one of humanity's newest exploration ships, had been adrift in interstellar darkness for nearly 3 months. Its mission was meant to be simple: exploration, survey, and hope. Humanity needed new worlds. New Geneva, their destination, was supposed to be one of the brightest examples of human expansion among the stars. But today, something felt wrong. "Sir," Lieutenant Amy Foster called from her station, her voice carrying a hint of hesitation. "We're approaching the New Geneva system. We should have visual contact with the colony within 10 minutes. Jake gave a curt nod, eyes fixed on the infinite canvas before him. New Geneva had been thriving the last anyone had heard: 12 million colonists, 5 years of steady growth, regular transmissions back to Earth. A place where humanity's dreams had begun to take root among alien stars. And then, 3 months ago, the messages stopped. No distress call, no technical explanation, just silence. "Long-range sensors, Amy," Jake said quietly. "What are we seeing?" Amy's fingers danced across the console. A moment later, her face turned pale. "Sir, this doesn't make sense. I'm reading energy patterns, but they don't match human infrastructure. And," she swallowed, "I'm not detecting any life signs. At all." The silence on the bridge deepened. Dr. Lisa Carter, the ship's cultural and xenology expert, stepped forward. "Commander, I've been reviewing the data as well. These readings don't correspond to any human technology I'm aware of. They're alien. Old, maybe. Or advanced. Possibly both." "Put it on the main display," Jake ordered. The screen flickered to life, revealing the planet that should have been vibrant with oceans, forests, and sprawling cities. Instead, it glistened like a dead jewel. The surface was smooth, shining like glass. No atmosphere churned with clouds. No rivers cut across continents. No movement, no life, only a dead mirror reflecting the indifferent light of its star. "My God," Amy whispered. "What happened here?" Lisa's voice trembled as she read the data. "Orbital bombardment. The energy levels suggest weapons capable of melting entire landscapes. The heat was so intense that the surface fused into glass. Every city, every farm, every mountain, all burned away." Jake's chest tightened. He thought of the colonists, 12 million men, women, and children who had carved lives for themselves on this world. They hadn't just died, they had been erased. "Take us into orbit," Jake said, his voice steady despite the storm inside him. "Full sensor sweeps. I want every scrap of data." As the Earth's Pride descended into orbit, the devastation became clearer. Once great cities were nothing but blackened scars beneath the glass. Mountains had slumped into smooth, melted waves. Even the oceans were gone, boiled away into steam long ago. "Commander," Amy said softly, "I'm detecting debris in orbit. Not human. The alloys don't match any of our designs." Jake stepped closer. "What kind of ships?" "The computer is analyzing, but sir, the energy signatures match records we've been collecting. 17 systems. Similar patterns. We thought it was interference, stellar phenomena. But no." Amy's voice broke. "They've all gone dark. Every single colony in this region. 17 systems." The weight of it struck Jake like a physical blow. Not one lost colony, not an isolated tragedy, an extermination campaign. Lisa looked up, her face grim. The strike patterns weren't random. Whoever did this studied the colony first: power grids, defenses, shelters. They struck every key location at the exact same moment. Coordinated. Planned. This wasn't chaos. It was strategy. Jake turned sharply to the communications officer. "Send a message to Earth Command. Priority Alpha. Tell them humanity isn't facing pirates, isn't facing raiders. We are facing a hostile alien force capable of exterminating entire colonies. Millions are already dead. The officer's hands moved quickly. Jake knew the message would take weeks to reach Earth. Weeks during which more colonies might burn. Collect debris samples, he ordered Amy. Weapons fragments, hull plating, anything. Lisa, start analyzing their patterns. If they've destroyed 17 colonies, there's a trajectory. I want to know where they'll strike next. The bridge was silent except for the hum of machinery as Lisa worked through the data. Then she looked up, horror in her eyes. Commander, the next target is the Harmony system. Jake's heart sank. Population. 8 million, Lisa whispered. And if the attackers follow the same timeline, they'll arrive within 2 weeks. Jake didn't hesitate. Course set for Harmony. Maximum speed. Send another message to Earth Command. Tell them we're moving to warn the colony and assist in its defense. Amy hesitated. Sir, we're an exploration vessel. We have only basic weapons. If this species annihilated entire worlds, what can we do against them? Jake turned back toward the glassed world below, its dead surface gleaming with silent accusation. We may not be able to stop them. But we can warn Harmony. We can look these aliens in the eye and learn what humanity is truly facing. The Earth's pride pivoted away from the ruined world and leapt into hyperspace. As the stars stretched into light, Jake remained on the bridge, staring into the void. Humanity had been expanding outward for 3 centuries, meeting dozens of species, some friendly, some indifferent, a few hostile. But none like this. This was not about resources. Not about territory. This was something far darker. The glassing of New Geneva wasn't conquest, it was erasure. The attackers had no interest in occupation, no desire for dominion. They wanted one thing only, extermination. Jake thought of Earth. Billions of people living under the illusion that the galaxy was vast enough to share. They had never imagined an enemy who would see humanity not as rivals, not as equals, but as contamination to be purged. For the first time in his career, Jake Morrison felt truly powerless. And yet he also knew this, the moment would define humanity's future. Survival would demand choices darker and sharper than anything Earth had ever faced. The war for existence had already begun. And no one on Earth even knew it yet. And here's where I'll pause the story for now. What do you think happened to the people of New Geneva? Why would an alien civilization erase entire worlds instead of conquering them? Share your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you're enjoying this journey into humanity's first true war for survival, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 2, where the enemy finally reveals itself. The Earth's pride emerged from hyperspace in the Harmony system, its hull trembling as reality folded back into place. Commander Jake Morrison gripped the railing, his eyes locked on the view screen. And there it was, Harmony, a lush blue-green jewel suspended against the stars. Oceans shimmered with silver light, clouds swirled across its surface, and cities sparkled with the signs of life. 8 million souls lived down there, blissfully unaware that their world had been marked for annihilation. Jake's stomach twisted. He thought of New Geneva, now nothing but a glass tomb. If they failed here, Harmony would follow. Report, Jake ordered. Lieutenant Amy Foster scanned the sensors. Planetary systems are online. Civilian traffic is normal. No unusual activity. She hesitated. But long-range scans, they show something else. Multiple contacts. Closing fast. Dr. Lisa Carter leaned over her station. Size. Amy's hands danced across her console. Each about 2 kilometers in length. Metallic, angular, nothing like human design. Commander, they're warships. The bridge fell silent. Humanity had seen alien ships before, of course. Trade vessels, scientific craft, even small military escorts. But never this, never an armada of warships designed for extermination. Put them on the main display, Jake said. The screen flickered, and the bridge gasped. The alien ships were grotesque and precise all at once. Hulls of jagged black metal, sharp as broken glass, bristled with weapon arrays that glowed with cold, unnatural light. Their formations were perfect, almost mathematical, an entire fleet moving as though they shared one mind. Lisa whispered, "They're not just here to fight. They're here to erase." The comms officer looked up suddenly. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission." Jake's eyes narrowed. "From them?" "Yes. Direct signal, tightly focused on us." Jake's heart pounded. On screen. For a moment, there was only static. Then a figure appeared. Tall, skeletal, humanoid only in outline. Its body shimmered with dark metallic plates, and its face was a mask of cold symmetry, eyes glowing like distant stars, mouth a thin slash without emotion. When it spoke, its voice was neither male nor female. It was layered, echoing, as though 1,000 voices spoke in unison. "Human vessel. You have entered a condemned system. Withdraw, or be destroyed." Jake felt the weight of its words. Condemned. Not occupied, not contested, condemned, like a disease marked for eradication. He forced his voice to remain steady. "This is Commander Jake Morrison of the exploration ship Earth's Pride, representing the United Colonies of Earth. This is a peaceful system, home to millions of civilians. What right do you have to declare it condemned?" The alien tilted its head, eyes burning brighter. "We are the Sarah. Your kind spreads like rot, consuming stars and soil alike. You are not the first. You will not be the last. Your presence corrupts. For the order of the galaxy, humanity must end." The words struck like blades. Humanity, corruption. Jake tried to keep his anger contained. "We seek coexistence. Trade. Dialogue. There is no need for this war." The alien's eyes flared, as though mocking him. "Dialogue? We conversed with others before you. They too believed their hungers were justified. They too believed their noise deserved permanence. Now their bones drift in forgotten orbits. You will join them." And then the screen went black. The bridge erupted with voices. "Commander, the alien fleet is breaking formation. They're moving toward harmony. They'll be in orbit within hours." Jake raised a hand, silencing them. His mind raced. They had seen the enemy now, not pirates, not raiders, but a civilization dedicated to sterilizing the galaxy of what it considered infection. "Send everything to Harmony Command," Jake ordered. "Show them the recording. They need to understand this isn't a negotiation. This is extermination." Amy hesitated. "Sir, Harmony doesn't have a military fleet. Just planetary defenses and a few patrol ships. They can't stand against this." Jake stared at the alien ships on the display, dozens of them moving with flawless precision. He thought of the 8 million souls below. He thought of Earth, still blind to what was coming. "Then we'll buy them time," he said quietly. Lisa turned to him, eyes wide. "With what?" "Jake, we're an exploration ship. We have survey drones, research probes, a handful of railguns at best. Against that fleet." "Against that fleet, we're nothing," Jake admitted. "But nothing is better than silence. If Harmony evacuates, if even a fraction escape, then this world won't be another glassed grave. We hold the line as long as we can." The bridge crew exchanged uneasy glances, but no one spoke against him. "Deploy probes," Jake ordered. "Scatter them through the system. I want every movement of the Sarah fleet recorded and transmitted." If Earth has any chance of fighting back, they'll need data. Amy's voice trembled as she obeyed. Probes away. The screens lit up with trajectories as the drones launched, scattering like seeds into the dark. Data began to stream in, weapon signatures, shield harmonics, communication patterns. Then the alarms blared. "Commander, the Sarah have detected us." The alien ships shifted as one, like predators turning toward prey. Energy signatures flared along their hulls. Jake's jaw tightened. Battle stations. The Earth's pride shuddered as its limited weapons powered up. Railguns slid from their housings. Point defense turrets spun to life. On the screen, the Sarah fleet closed in, their weapons glowing brighter, like the rising anger of a star. Lisa whispered, "We can't win." Jake didn't answer. He thought of the alien's words, "For the order of the galaxy, humanity must end." Maybe the Sarah believed that. Maybe they saw humanity as a mistake, a spreading plague. But Jake knew this: humanity was not prey. They would fight. They would endure. And someday, they would answer this threat not with silence, but with defiance. "Transmit this to Earth Command," Jake said, his voice steady. "Tell them we've made contact with the enemy. Tell them the Sarah are real, and they will not stop until humanity is gone." The comms officer nodded, sending the message into the void. Jake gripped the railing as the first Sarah warships loomed into range, their weapons locking on to the lone human ship. And with a quiet resolve, he whispered to himself, "If this is the end, let it be the beginning." So now the truth is revealed: the Sarah Empire, a civilization that sees humanity not as rivals, but as contamination to be purged. If you were in Commander Morrison's place, what would you do? Would you try to negotiate again, or stand and fight even against impossible odds? Share your thoughts below, and stay tuned for part 3, where the war for survival truly begins. The Earth's pride never returned from Harmony. Its final transmission, grainy, half-corrupted, marked with static, was replayed in Earth's war rooms again and again. Commander Morrison's voice was calm, almost steady, as alien weapons blazed behind him. "Tell them the Sarah are real. Tell them they will not stop. Humanity must be ready." Then the feed cut to silence. For 3 long weeks, Earth mourned. But grief turned quickly to resolve. The Harmony massacre proved what Morrison had warned: the Sarah Empire would not negotiate, would not compromise, would not stop. Earth's leaders gathered in the hidden chambers of the Global Defense Directorate, and for the first time in centuries, old rivalries were set aside. Nations that had once squabbled over borders and trade now spoke with one voice. Humanity's survival demanded it. Admiral Yvonne Salazar, head of the Directorate, put it simply: "We stand, or we vanish. There is no middle ground." And so began Operation Dawnfire. The shipyards above Mars blazed with light as engineers worked without rest. Civilian freighters were gutted and rebuilt into carriers. Mining drones were refitted as swarms of interceptors. Old orbital platforms were armed with rail cannons the size of skyscrapers. The colonies, once scattered and isolated, began to unify. Resources flowed from Titan's methane seas, from Luna's regolith mines, from the asteroid belts where small outposts scraped a living. Humanity was no longer preparing to explore. It was preparing to resist. Dr. Lisa Carter, one of the few survivors evacuated from Harmony before its fall, became the voice of that resistance. Her broadcasts echoed through every habitat, every city, every ship. "They see us as corruption," she said. "They see us as a plague to be burned away. But we are not corruption. We are not prey. We are the children of Earth, and no empire will erase us." Her words lit a fire in billions of hearts. Volunteers flooded recruitment centers. Scientists abandoned long-term projects to focus on weapons, defenses, strategies. For the first time in 500,000 years of oppression and silence, humanity was no longer hiding. It was preparing to strike back. But war is never a matter of ships and weapons alone. It is also a war of the mind. And here, humanity found its greatest weapon. The Sera Empire was vast, ancient, and unyielding. But it was also predictable. It operated by strict order, flawless symmetry, unbending logic. Every world marked as condemned was attacked the same way, fleet formations precise, communications layered and cold, tactics designed to overwhelm through sheer inevitability. Humans, however, were different. They thrived in chaos, adapted in ways no algorithm could predict. Where the Sera sought control, humans found opportunity. Where the Sera sought silence, humans found defiance. The first test came in the Kepler Reach. A Sera fleet of 12 warships advanced on a small mining colony. Earth's navy, if it could be called that, sent only 3 warships, hastily armed civilian vessels with experimental weapons. On paper, the battle was suicide. But the humans didn't fight on paper. Instead, they used deception. Civilian distress signals lured the Sera into an ambush. Mines disguised as cargo containers detonated across their formation. Electronic warfare scrambled their coordination, breaking their perfect symmetry. And then, in the chaos, human ships struck. Railgun slugs the size of cars tore into Sera hulls. Plasma torpedoes, unstable and barely tested, detonated at point-blank range. The Resolute, a converted freighter, rammed directly into the flagship, sacrificing itself to tear the alien vessel in half. When the smoke cleared, 4 Sera warships lay shattered. Humanity had lost 2 ships, but for the first time, they had proven the enemy was not invincible. The news spread like wildfire. Across the colonies, across Earth itself, hope was reborn. But victory came at a cost. The Sera adapted. Their next attacks were swifter, harsher, less predictable. Worlds burned. Millions died. And still, Earth fought on. It was not just a war of survival. It was a war of identity. Every battle was a reminder of what it meant to be human, to create, to adapt, to endure. And slowly, the galaxy began to notice. The Harari, a neutral alien race known for their ancient archives and cautious detachment, watched from afar. They had seen civilizations rise and fall, crushed under the weight of the Sera Empire. None had lasted long. But humanity was different. Humanity did not fold under the first strike. It fought back with a ferocity that defied logic. Whispers spread among other species. Perhaps the humans could succeed where all others had failed. Perhaps they could break the cycle. But the Harari also carried a warning. In secret channels, they reached out to human envoys. Their message was clear: the Sera are not the greatest threat. They are but tools. Shadows on the wall. Behind them lies something older, something far more dangerous. At first, Earth dismissed it as fearmongering. Humanity already faced annihilation, what could be greater than this? But in the quiet corridors of the Directorate, doubts grew. If the Harari were right, then the war against the Sera was only the opening act of something much larger. For now, humanity's path was clear. The Sera fleet was vast, but not infinite. Every battle that bought time, every skirmish that yielded data, every Sera ship dragged down into ruin, each one was a step toward survival. On Earth, children painted stars on classroom walls, dreaming not of distant galaxies but of freedom. Soldiers etched the names of lost worlds into their armor. Engineers whispered promises to the steel and fire they forged. And in the silence of space, humanity struck again and again. Sometimes winning, sometimes bleeding, but always returning, always adapting. For the first time in recorded memory, the galaxy trembled, not at the might of an empire, but at the resilience of a species that refused to die. Humanity had been prey for too long. Now, it was something else entirely. The war was only beginning.